So in this video, we are checking out a webcam, and for this, I decided to actually record all the A-roll with the webcam in question, so that is what you are seeing. EMEET reached out to me because they wanted me to check out their new EMEET Pixy 4K webcam. So because there's a partnership, this is going to be more of a product highlight video as opposed to a subjective review, but I will be doing side-by-side comparisons with the competing product, the OBSBot Teeny 2. For the comparisons, both cameras will be at their default settings on all, auto, everything, exposure, white balance, all that. The Pixy here that we are going to be checking out won the best webcam of CES 2025, which I was at, super fun. It is designed specifically for content creators, streamers, or people who just find themselves in like Zoom calls and all that all the time. It has dual 4K cameras, 2-axis gimbal, AI features, and more. And this camera is actually going to have a permanent place here in my studio as kind of a secondary camera and a camera that I could kind of point down to my desk to do hardware stuff. So first, let's back up a bit and talk about the unboxing of the device. And here it is, the EMEET Pixy. On this side, we have a list of some of the features, and opening it up, we have a welcome card. And something that's actually not included is this cute little mascot stuffy that they sent me. My son took it. I don't blame him. Of course, the camera itself, with a standard 1/4-20 female on the bottom, and we have quite a beefy bracket also with the 1/4-20 connector. This is nice considering the other camera that we're going to be demoing. Its bracket is much lighter, thinner, and instead of actually screwing to the camera, it's magnetic, which it falls off and slides around all the time. So having it screwed on, it's going to be easier for like top-down shots and things like that. Then of course it has a USB-C cable with an included USB-C to A adapter, and then the manual. So I have the spec sheet here pulled up, and we're going to quickly go over some of the specs of the device. It can record up to 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p up to 60 frames. You can't zoom in 4K, but you can do 1.5 zoom if you're in 1080p, and it has a field of view of 73 degrees. For the 2 axes, it can pan up to 310 degrees and then tilt up to 180 degrees. And it does have motion tracking. I'm pretty sure if I just raise my hand, kind of wave it around, it will enable that motion tracking. It has 3 microphones built into it, and we will get into sound testing. Note, I'm not using its microphone right now. I'm using a dedicated mic over here. Now, like I mentioned, and like you've seen during the whole unboxing process, it doesn't have a single camera. It has dual 4K cameras, which they say it helps enhance the image quality, the focus speed, as well as the overall exposure accuracy. So here I have both cameras plugged in, and I added some little titles here so you could see EMEET Pixy there on the top, and then we have the OBSBot Teeny 2. Now I do have studio lighting, so it's kind of an ideal lighting situation for both cameras, and in this situation you can see it is very clear, while this one, the EMEET, is more vibrant, it's sharper. If we go over to the OBSBot Teeny 2 here, it's much softer, warmer, and this is at default. So with either of these cameras, you can go into settings and change how the coloring looks and all that, and we'll kind of dive into that with the EMEET software in just a moment. But this shot right here is much softer, a lot less things in focus. So you can see, for example, if I slide over here, the little fern that is right there, in this shot it's kind of blurred out, but if I turn on the EMEET camera here, it is very sharp, very vibrant. That is a preference thing, just depending on how you want your shots to look. I kind of like this more vibrant, sharp look for what I'm going to be using it for, which is hardware shots and things like this, but again, all preference. Real quick, let's test by turning off all these lights and comparing them in an unideal lighting situation. So there we go. It's much darker in here. The only thing I have is a couple string lights in front of me, and there's some string lights behind me. This is the EMEET, and this is the Teeny 2. So again, you be the judge. So here we got some side-by-side action, and the first thing that we're testing is motion tracking and then some of the focus. So motion tracking, as you can see, is enabled on both cameras. So if I swing myself over here, they both should follow. And the primary reason I'm doing this is so you can see the tracking differences between these 2 cameras. And one thing I'm noticing is the Teeny 2 tends to like to overcorrect itself. It kind of has a weird wobble thing going on. And if I just walk on over here and then skip to the loop, you be the judge. So now to test the focus, to start, I'm going to use this kind of dusty iPhone camera. So the EMEET, pretty quick. And if I go over to the Teeny, oh, there it goes. EMEET, teeny. So first to the EMEET, pretty quick. If I go over to the teeny, oh, there it goes. Definitely more background blur on the teeny, but it's more like abrasive and kind of has a little shake to it when it tries to focus on something this close. While the Pixy is a little bit smoother, but again, the background blur on that teeny too is crazy. I have a note here, TCP IP layers, if you're interested. So let's bring it up to the EMEET and bring it down. Let's bring it up to the teeny and then bring it down, up, down. So on the teeny, we definitely notice it focusing more while it has that good background blur, while with the EMEET, it's a lot more smoother of a transition to the focus without as much background blur. So that's kind of the pan, tilt, zoom, or PTZ. So if you're not using motion tracking like we just saw, you can easily make adjustments in the software. And again, we'll go ahead and dive into that. But again, that makes it really nice for live streaming if you don't have somebody to control your camera to just enable that feature, or like I'm going to do and have multi-camera setup, so you just quickly make a little adjustment in the software and you're good to go. As we saw, the Pixy does seem to be a little bit more responsive in this regard, while the Teeny 2 there tends to kind of like overcorrect and give us this like weird kind of wobble thing going on. So that's definitely a EMEET dub. So now is a good time to talk about the 3 microphone array. They say that this helps you capture a wider area for improved audio clarity, especially if you're in like a conference room or something like that, where there's like classmates asking questions or multiple presenters. And there's also noise canceling, which will analyze audio signals coming from the different microphones and kind of filter out what you want and what you don't want, which of course I can't just tell you that. We're going to test real quick. So this is completely raw. I haven't even heard it yet. I'll hear it in editing. So I'm going to release this as is. This is the microphone on the EMEET Pixy in the live mode, so it kind of focuses the audio here. And then this is with the noise canceling mode enabled. And then this is the original sound mode. So there are some noises in the background, you might hear them, but I don't even know. Right now it's back in live mode, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on a fan right here. So we got a fan running, and what I will do is turn on noise canceling. So this is without noise canceling in live mode, and then this is with the noise canceling enabled. Again, I have no input. I haven't even listened to it yet. And just for comparison's sake, this is the microphone of the OBSBot, the same camera that we have been kind of comparing this with. And now we are back to the studio microphone. So with that, we're going to go into a recording I've already done of kind of a software demo so you can see what's going on there and all the different adjustments that we can make, so on and so forth. All right, and here we are in the software that they offer. This is EMEET Studio, and I'm just going to quickly run through all the options and talk about the different things that you could do. Right now, I'm on standard mode, but here we could also enable tracking mode and privacy mode. Also, with the tracking mode, I'm pretty sure if I go like that, look at that. Now we are automatically in tracking mode. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and go to standard mode. And right here, we have a little gimbal for our PTZ control. So I could go ahead and just bring this down a little bit, put myself back in frame. And here you can set initial positions. You could set custom positions. So if you switch it back and forth between like looking down at your desk or somewhere else, you can have little presets to fix that. Here is the audio modes, and you heard me doing that a little bit earlier, so that's where you switch it. You have the device, we have preview, so if I disable preview, it's just going to collapse the window there. Here we have quick access to some of our filters. So for example, we could go blues, nostalgia, which gives us this real nice kind of a warm hue. And we have some of our audio monitoring and mixing right here. Right here, we have some more settings and controls. So right now it's set to 1080p 30, but we can go up to 1080p 60, which is really nice. Here, I'm going to switch this back to default. So if you record at 60 frames and like you are streaming or whatever, you have your window in the corner, you can set that to 1080 60, or we could go 4K 30 just like that. And now it is very clear. Additionally, we have some rotation options here. So if I wanted to, like if I was going to do like TikToks or whatever, I would do that. And then we can record in a vertical format. But that is not what I'm doing right now. Let's just make some quick little adjustments here. And then of course we have mirroring, so we can mirror it this way. We can flip it completely, and we can record directly through this software if we would like to. Now, under effects, this is where we get into more like granular controls of how the actual picture here looks. So we have low light enhance. So if you're having issues in darkness, you can enable that. default. The default settings look pretty good, but if I wanted to, I can change it. These are the filters that we saw earlier, but if I go over here to customize, you can see, boom, I like that a little bit better, a little bit darker, not nearly as bright, but here we can change the brightness, the contrast. We have EV here, which is basically our exposure. If I lock it, that will put it where the current setting is, so it won't automatically adjust for you. Or we could bump it up, that's way overexposed, or nothing is complete darkness. But right around there looks fine. Let's go ahead and lock that in place. And then if we scroll down here, we have sharpness, saturation, the actual tone. We have white balance. Right now it's on auto, so I can turn that off and then adjust this to my preferred setting if I don't want to use their auto white balance. And then we have anti-flicker, so if I put it to 50 or 60 in OBS, this was flickering, and I just switched it to 50, and now it's fine. Additionally, if we go over here to assist, we have some more fun options. We have focus metering, so I can set focus points. So right here, if I wanted everything to be in focus right here, I could do so. This right here is the default, and then we could set it to human face focusing as the preference. Now right now it's on autofocus, but if I disable this, and then I can switch it from far to near. So now that it's on near, if I was setting up like static shots, look at that, you can see the dust. Or I can bring it down, so then it's just a custom focus setting. So I'm gonna lock that, keep it on auto, because the autofocus works pretty good. Gesture control, you already kind of saw that with me enabling autofocus or the auto tracking. We have auto rotate when upside down, and we have enter privacy mode. So this will automatically enter if it's inactive for 10, 15, or never. I set it to 15, that's a pretty good setting. And another cool feature is if you want to enter privacy mode without having to dive into your software, if I simply push this down, it's going to enter privacy mode. And then if I just go back over to standard, it's gonna go back up. And if I actually go to tracking mode, then it's gonna be back on me. So there is actually one thing in the software I forgot to cover that I'm just now noticing, and that is over here we have script generation. So like everything else that you can turn on, whether that be your toaster oven or your car, they're integrating AI into everything. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we got here. Write me a short script on why somebody should buy the EMEET Pixy 4K webcam. Let's do business presentation. Actually, let's just do universal. We have more parameters here. Oh, we have camera positions and all that. Damn. Within 30 minutes, start composing. Oh, will ya? Look at that. It does everything. Camera position, shot scale, operation. I mean, it's kind of short. This is like a minute. This video could have been a minute. Damn. Let's download it. I'm not able to see everything. Okay, let's do that. For the record, I would not recommend Apple numbers. I would recommend something like LibreOffice. Auto light correction. Another must-have is a noise-canceling microphone. All right. I mean, kind of cool. That would be a good starting point for like a YouTube short or something. Has some work to do, but it's cool that it's there for sure, especially in the kind of proper format. So that was my video on the EMEET. EMEET Pixy. Again, it is what you're seeing now. If you're interested in buying it, it will be linked down below. The camera is launching June 23rd at $159. Not too bad, kind of a mid-range camera price. Camera we've been comparing it to has been out for a bit, and the OBSBot 2 seems to be about double the price at $300. So I am comparing it to a more expensive camera, technically. So I just realized it was kind of unfair, but it's fair in my book. If it's going to be a sponsor, it's got to perform. I could probably go ahead and get rid of this text here. There we go. With all that, I do hope you have an absolutely beautiful day. Again, the link will be down below, and goodbye.